Burnout is real, and it affects almost every person at some point in their life. And recently, it's been coming down pretty hard on me. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a big struggle for me to keep up with schoolwork, my real job, hobbies, passions, friends, and uploading. But by looking at my YouTube page, you can see that uploading consistently has taken the biggest hit. And I think I wanted to make this video not just for you guys out there that struggle with this, but for me as well, because I don't have all the answers. I'm at the same place a lot of you are at right now and not quite sure what to do about it. I've been exhibiting all the most common side effects of burnout, such as constant fatigue, irritability, low motivation, passions and interests fading or ceasing to be present in my life at all sometimes, and worse emotional and mental health as well. Normally I have no issues eating, but even recently my parents have been surprised at how little I've been eating compared to before. But I wanted to talk to you today about some of the steps I've been trying to take to lessen the load on my shoulders and reduce the amount of stress and anxiety I've been having to deal with from this issue. The first one, and I know I don't struggle with this one at all, but many people do, is getting enough sleep. I know I'm not your mom, I'm not your doctor, so why am I telling you this? It's because it's important. If you don't get enough sleep, you could be ruining your tomorrow by the choices of today. If you get bad sleep and because of that are irritable or tired the whole next day, you've basically wasted your day away because of that. Also, make sure that if you have a lot of work to do, like studying or anything like that, for example, like for me it's studying because I'm in college, I don't recommend studying for just hours upon hours straight, but maybe for 45 minutes or 50 minutes, that's what I do, and then having a 15 to 20 minute break where you watch your favorite YouTuber or an anime episode or whatever and have a snack at that time as well. And just make sure to give yourself ample rest in between that. I know for me, like I said, for me 45 minutes to 50 minutes works, but if that works differently for you, then use that. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I'm just trying to give suggestions on things that you can try and stuff like that. I would also say this issue is kind of a more systemic issue as well, and that in today's society we often glorify the hustle culture that we build around our consumerism loving brains. But if we're able to take a step back from that, from the flashy billboards, advertisements, promotions, from telling us we need this new game, software, furniture, car, house, or life, attempting to remove ourselves from that rat race in what really is a spiral to the bottom, I think many of us would be a lot happier in the long run. Now, I'm not saying to go and quit your job and do Amazon FA or whatever it's called, but what I'm saying is not answering maybe work calls after work unless it's an emergency, or disabling receiving email notifications from coworkers or your bosses after a certain time so you don't wake up at 1 to a text about why isn't this project finished or whatever like that. Not putting unnecessary stress on yourself if a project doesn't get finished perfectly or exactly on time. I know it's extremely hard to do these things and implement them. It's so ingrained in us to want to stress and worry about these things, but I can guarantee that your life is going to be a lot less stressful if you're able to implement some of these things I've mentioned before. Make sure in your time off you actually spend it resting and relaxing. I commonly come back after my days off and feel more exhausted than when I started. This was because instead of actually resting up, doing things I wanted to, and filling my day with stuff I enjoy, I fall into doing time killer stuff, scrolling reels or YouTube, watching social media, stuff like that. Watching social media is fine, but becomes a problem when you start mindlessly doing it. I also try and stay off sites like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. This seems to be the vast majority of negativity on the internet, and I try to avoid them altogether as to avoid the issue of me scrolling for hours and then me just feeling like total dog shit afterwards. Life isn't like StarCraft. You don't need to be min-maxing every second of your life. So often we fall into this mindset where a lot of the day needs to be spent on quote-unquote productive activities and doing things we deem as necessary. And worst of all, these things usually fall on our days off. So we spend the days where we should be recovering from exhausting weeks or work or school and doing some enjoyable activities that give us purpose or meaning on pushed off chores, cleaning, visits, gathering, shopping, stuff like this. Another issue, and this is similar to the not enough sleep example, if you have a busy weekend and return to work/school afterwards, you're not going to feel ready for the week ahead. And your general performance will also not be as good as it could be if you had spent a little bit more time on yourself. You deserve breaks. You've earned them. They are not some sort of luxury that employers or school gives us. They are a necessity for basic human functioning. If you go long without breaks, you will start to break down. Just as if your body is overexhausted, it will stop. It won't be able to run any farther or lift that much weight anymore or work with as much intensity. Your mental health is the same. You'll get tired quicker, get irritated faster, struggle with normal or everyday tasks, feel overloaded easily. The only reason we don't take the mental part as seriously is because we believe that we can push through it. That if we need a break, it's a sign of some weakness or inability to work through hard times. These are all lies our brain tells us to keep us going. But if you don't stop and rest now, it will just lead to a larger blowout later when you'll end up being totally exhausted, unable to do anything and need a much longer time to recover. So it's better to make sure that you enjoy your weekends or days off so it doesn't end up with a total mental blowout and require you to take a week or two off in a row. Taking a break can also inspire other people to not be afraid to as well. A lot of times people are struggling with more stuff than we can ever imagine, and even though they may make it look like they have it all together, that they have their life planned out and are executing on it every day without fail, they may be a day away or a single comment away from throwing it all down and giving up. Many young people, especially ones in school, are having a lot of pressure put on them by parents, families, teachers, their own expectations, and are almost always expected to do better than their parents. In a world where things are looking more and more bleak by the day, that can be a hard thing to live up to. And sometimes life is going so fast we don't even have enough time to ask if this is really what I want to be doing with my life. Do I really want to work this job, be in this relationship, be friends with these people, live in this country, go to this school? All completely valid questions, but we often push them off because we are too busy with the here and now. Taking a break can lead us to not only search for answers to these questions, but also inspire others to do the same. But with that, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I hope this, video has made you think a little bit, or, question some of the habits or thoughts you have, or, maybe just you set a goal and say, yeah, this weekend I'm going to try to relax. I have been, really stressed out or really burnt out on a lot of things, and I do want to work on that. So, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, week, month, and year. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.